myself Mansi Chakur. Today we have with us Dr. Madhu Nicolas, sir, founder and CEO Airobel and Private Limited. Sir, I have few questions lined up for you. I hope you'll answer them with
Sure.
yes. So first question is, what challenges did you face while setting up a nutraceutical plant? As you are from the nutraceutical background, is it different from a pharmaceutical plant, or there are any challenges other than?
Yeah. Coming to nutraceutical is coming up in India in a big way because the world has changed. The way the nutraceutical product has to be catered into the world, to the market. So setting up a plant in nutraceutical is similar to that of pharmaceutical. There is no much difference because both goes as to ensure the safety and efficacy and to the customer or the client who is that we, the human, right? So, but with respect to regulations, there are lighter regulations for nutraceutical at present in India, but they are evolving. The standard GMP practices and Schedule M practices as to inoculate into Nutra and herbal industry also, which is being taken up by FSI as well as the DCGI body of India. So the plant requirement is similar to that of pharma, and it always good to keep the similar kind of plant because in India it will be lighter version of regulations, but come to when you start exporting to other countries, they does not have difference between a Nutra or a pharma. So it is always to meet those requirements to keep a scheduled GMP in nutraceutical plant. That's why we develop our nutraceutical plant.
Okay, so thank you, sir. The next question is, you have worked in different publications and projects, and I want to ask a question that what challenge did you face in developing the oral disintegrating formulation of azirpine? I guess it is a
It's very tough.
yeah.
So come to the story of azirpine, like azirpine is for use of schizophrenia, bipolar disease, and the innovator used a methodology called a lifeless tablet. Okay, so what they do, they make a solution. It's a 20 milligram, and they deep lyophilize using a gum, and it is in situ into the tray of the blisters, and this is patented. And this technology is completely patented with respect to the APA molecule, as well as the technology what they deployed in the formulation. But it was a good molecule. It has got at that time it was a 20 million value, and anything above 5 million is considered as a potent molecule or marketability by the company. And the company has developed another route of synthesis to develop the APA, but the challenges come to us because we don't have such kind of technology to.
So I wanted to ask you, how about working a challenge while developing disintegrating agent azirpine, and how did you face the challenge?
Yeah. So it's not been one of the best molecules which come to my career for developing an innovative way for the formulation. Why? Because the innovators use a lyophilization technology which cannot be mimicked or which cannot be used because 20 years they put a patent on both on the APA part as well as the formulation part. And the molecule has got a market value of 20 million. And more than India, the US and Europe is so much transferred to this molecule. Even though it has got side effect, but it has got more effect compared to the other molecule which is around. Okay, and the challenges come to us. The APA team has developed a novel process. Now that the whole challenges come to formulator, how to develop a methodology what is not following by the innovator. So it's a sublingual tablet. So you understand what is sublingual tablet, right?
Yes.
It's kept under the tongue. So we start working on what exact knowledge what we have based on that is oral disintegration or mouth filling. But the concern is that the bitter taste, and we have to reduce the dosage because schizophrenia patients are not cooperative. They may be violent, and they will get very few time to, the nurses will get a few time to give the drug and get the action, right? So the aim, the objective is very clear. It has to be small tablet, very small tablet, and should have quick action. And third concern is that how we evaluate, because the moment you keep on the tongue, you go for sleep for 24 hours. Okay, if normal person taken, because it acts on the CNS system, it depresses all the neurons and receptors, and you go to sleep. Even me and my scientist also had a very similar experience. I slept for 2 days. Even my scientist also. So, but even though challenges are there, we work on the formulation part. We had a lot of gathering with our all team, We are in cross-functional team with APA and both formulation part, and come to a conclusion of to make an oral distributed tablet. In that time, we got an excipient called F-melt. So F-melt have a capability that it disintegrates fast. So that time is also a Japanese ingredient, came from Shuji Chemicals. So their representative came to India and they told that we can utilize and we can do some kind of modification in their excipient level, ingredient level, which can bring you, our motto is that it should be within 10 seconds. Even though regulation allows 30 seconds, but we need to set same as the innovator what they launched. So 10 seconds what the time kept. So they customized and tailor-made that excipient to us. Then we incorporated our formulation and we done a oral dispersible tablet or a sublingual tablet. In that way we achieved. And the methodology what we deployed and the kind of innovation and the team what put, we got a patent also for that. Okay, that's also very challenging, and of course it was very interesting also.
So the next question is, how do you navigate regulatory hurdles with para-IV filings to the US FDA?
So para 4 filing is required for a company to introduce the molecule as fast as possible so that they make good income, right? So one of the interesting company which I work in, Yamasen, they crack the molecule so fast. Their chemistry is so good. The moment the innovators come with a new molecule, within 1 month they will start their chemistry and they'll come with APA. The challenge is to formulation team. No, so most of the molecules which we worked in Yamasen all are new molecule. They basically work on psychotic and some extent inflammation and other area was CVS. Okay, so almost all the molecule was entirely new molecule which we work, and we have an opportunity that we can go for exclusive, like para 4 exclusive, which we can get an approval immediate, and we enjoy the 180-day exclusivity, which you know, right, as per the Hatchman-Watts Act. So the organization has told us, like, why can't we are able to crack the molecule, so why we are go for a filing, para 4 filing. So we develop a team, and because we don't have much time also. The moment first to go, first serve, it is like that. Who go first, they get benefit of that. So then the court will give a permission to grant to market for 6 months without, other than innovator, you are there as a generic player. So this was then a special team was formed for only for para 4 filing. But para 4 filing, always there will be a IP hurdles, APA variability with respect to polymorphism and the solubility. There are a lot of concerns. It's not so easy. So where we, the team were allowed to do innovation whatever way they can do. So that's why we challenged each molecule and we done on fast track filing of para 4 filing.
So the next question is, can you share how the QBD PAT is used in manufacturing engineering?
Yeah, QBD, yeah, good question. So QBD approach is like 2012. What happened that in industry that 2005 onwards, generic pharma has started, and all the company has filed lot of ANDAs into US, and they got approval. When they got approval, when it come to manufacturing, what the issue they face is that they're not able to produce commercially. All are failing with respect to process, and that was a big challenge for industry. So what was happened? They develop on a fast track. They're not seeing the parameters. Somehow they hook or crook, they develop, filed, because that was a requirement at that time for the company. So this need to challenge. So whenever the auditors come from FDA, from regulated countries like Europe or US, they found that much attention is not given to development, either in the formulation part or the process part. And there is no buyback between process and formula. For the sake of name or sake, that develop formula, they did not even evaluate if the process is feasible or not. Because during the filing, you have to take a small batch, scale-up batch, which is not same as commercial batch. The commercial batch always will be 10 size of the small batch. So then FDA start asking, you should come with the complete process development report, which was not there at that time. We make PDR, but it was a concise PDR. But this report should contain how you evaluate, how you do the risk mitigation of formula, how you do risk mitigation of process, how you do, what is your scale-up strategy, how many scale you studied. So this all comes under a quality by design approach. And so when it comes to implementation, the other concern is that requirement of resources, because experimentation is increased, fund, and learning curve, because these scientists are not well versed with these all terms. So then the best MNCs started training, bringing the expert from the other industries, start training the people and teaching them. From the 2012, there's a transition period. Start training the QBD aspect with respect to the how you develop the formula, how you should make the reports of each one, how many experimentation should be there. Then come to the statistical tool utilization for the making of decisions. So these all come to, but this reduced a lot of surprises with respect to failure which come to commercial slot. So this way the FDA pushed back the Indian industry or the generic players to develop the culture of quality by design in your formulation and process and your scalability. Reduce from example, for example, you say there was a 50% failure, now increased to a success of 80%. So that paradigm shift happened in from 2009. It was a good paradigm shift, and that way actual science involvement articulate into development.
So the next question is, as you come from the background of formulation, you would have had some failures or failures while formulating a product. If you have had one, could you please describe what was it and how did you overcome the failure?
Yeah. So failure, I should say, is like a learning. Okay. So an R&D chemist or R&D says from benchwork to you become a leader, failure is along with you. Okay. So I'll give you a beautiful example. One product is called Ranolazine. So this is the last company which I worked. I not mention the company name. So that time I was a PDL head for a Goa unit. The product has to be launched, and they got exclusivity to market for 6 months after innovator. So they can make almost like $250 million. Okay, and we start taking study about the product because R&D has already technology transferred to shop floor. The exhibit batch, everything is done. Now come to the commercial part. The PDL head's responsibility for that knowledge has to be shared to the commercial team. So we start taking, before the validation batch, we start taking a pre-validation batch. And the pre-validation batch, what happened, we start getting failure of dissolution. Okay. So then there will be articulating of that matters to the higher level. The attention comes to the PDL head. Okay, the R&D has told that we already transferred the technology. Now it's your responsibility. We done nothing. So now it's our ball game, right? So what I told to the team, we start gathering the data. So we don't get understand what is the actual reason of failure. So I asked my team that you start collecting all the data from the development to your pre-validation. Collect all data with respect to your material, raw material, what you use, the technology, what process technology, what all you have validated, how you are followed in the pre-validation, and the dissolution method, and what all other matters can go into, analytical issues, what all the whole data we gather, and we use what all statistical we can use to understand the variability of each process. And from that we taken out one factor. The factor was one of the polymer which is a rate limiting polymer which control the release pattern. During the development time, the specification has fixed that 100 to 200 CPS. Okay, and when it comes to production, the same excipient, the excipient team has changed the specification to 100 to 400, which was not being shared to the system. Okay, they didn't find out that it's a bigger risk. But for us, that is a risk because as the polymer concentration increases, the retardation happened. So then, by understanding the fact, we told them to supply the similar kind of material to us. But that was a concern for them because their principle is not aligned to that fact. Then we come to an agreement with that excipient manufacturer and the distributor. You have to pick and choose those grade material only. So every time they have to pick 100 to 100 CPS material for this batch. That's why we made an agreement to sort out that issue. Later, what the company has done, they made a specification to us, only to us, such viscosity, and that way we reduce the risk, and we able to launch the product in time. and that product was success, and the company was enjoyed the 6 month exclusivity income.
So the last question I'll come to. So as you are from the nutraceutical and formulations background, if someone wants to enter with the ongoing market trends, what he or she should be prepared of?
Basically, that the regulations of the Nutra is going changing from every month. So it is being tougher. So the knowledge of regulations. Second is like knowledge about the ingredients. Okay, the Nutra consists of not only active nutraceutical ingredient but also herbal. So
Yes.
the mix of both together. But herbal industry not so known to pharma people. Even the pharmacognosy is a part of our this one. I don't know how much focus we are given to that area, because the herbal contain multiple bioactives, which is very tough to standardize. Okay, and if you ask the raw material purchase, for example, you buy Central Asiatica, it contains terpenes. It has got almost 20 bioactives. So which one to standardize?
Yes.
Which group has to be standardized? And which one have the action, what you are going to develop the product, which you never know. So basically you should have knowledge about the cognitive part, I mean the bioactive part of the herbal industry, and what exactly you required and regulations. If that basic knowledge required when you enter to nutraceutical industry. Otherwise you will be fooled around, because no RM vendor going to tell you like, when you, the moment you say Central Asiatica, they will give you any kind of a start which the purpose you going to end result what you want may not get. So it will be fooled on. That's what happening in the industry now. People say ashwagandha, so they'll give ashwagandha.
Yes.
It's ashwagandha powder or extract. What percentage, which percentage, nobody knows. And they also does not tell. Unless you have knowledge, yes, you can correct it and you can develop. So that's a challenge part. Before you enter into that, you should have knowledge, or any person who know very well, it should be a part of your team.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir, for taking our time and
Thank
being
you.
with us. Thank you.